arts teacher, author of the Lucia Chronicles and the upcoming YA science fiction fantasy series, The Elementals, with Book 1, Army of Fire, coming out on October 25th. This is a YA book review of Shadow and Bone. It is book 1 in the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I had the pleasure of meeting Leigh and getting my book signed when she came to a local library by me. I actually hadn't read the book yet when I went to meet her, but I knew it was on my October TBR list, so I signed up to go anyway. And I found her to be a wonderful verbal storyteller and to be very funny. So I had high hopes going into this book, and I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars, and the things I liked about it was I loved the world building. Although at first, even with a map in the beginning, it was hard for me to keep different Grisha ranks or Grisha classes, who did what, even though there was an explanation just while I was reading. It was hard for me to keep that straight, and it was hard for me to keep cities straight. This book has a lot of Russian influence in it. I would say like Russian mythology influence, and it is fantasy. I really like Alina, who is the main character. She's kind of, she's weak, but she's snarky. And of course she does change throughout the series. She realizes that she has this power that's been suppressed her whole life, and so when she taps into that power, she does grow as a character. The villain in this particular book is called the Darkling, and he is an amazing villain because part of you really likes him, even though he can be kind of cruel. And I think it's because Leigh gives you hints of like a humanness to him or a humanity to him that makes you root for him sometimes. And I think that's amazing because the other love interest is Mal, which is one of Alina's childhood friends, and I like both of them, at least at this point. Some things do happen at the end, and I'm reading Siege and Storm, which is the second book right now, and I still like him. I still like Darkling. Like, I would be happy if Alina ends up with either one of them. I would not be happy probably if she ends up with neither, though, if I'm being honest. So it's a very easy read. It flows. The chapters, you know, some chapters are cliffhangers, but some end on a good note for stopping. Sometimes I hate when there's too many cliffhangers and then there's no good, you know, stopping point if you want to go to sleep or whatever and don't want to stay up all night reading because you have a job that you have to go to. But the only other thing I don't like, and it's kind of happening in book 2, and this is just like my sensitive soul, I know for a lot of people this probably would not necessarily bother you, is that there are some mythical creatures that are killed, and even though they're mythical creatures, I just hate that. Like, just personally, anything with animals, whether they're mythical animals or real animals, I try to read over those parts like super fast or just skim those parts because I just have a very sensitive old soul. So, but overall, I really liked this book. I like Leigh's writing. I like the sense of humor and the snarkiness of Alina because I can relate to that personally. But overall, I really liked it. So I would say right now for book 1, 4.5 stars. I will be doing reviews of Siege and Storm, and I think the last one is called Ruin and Rising. And I will do reviews of that, and then the last review give you my overall series rating. You can also check out my reviews on Goodreads. So in the meanwhile, happy reading and happy writing.